Please, for the love of sweet baby Jesus, someone like this video so I can rise up in the YouTube algorithms. Welcome to the overview video of the signal counter indicator. Please stay tuned for the entire video. I'm going to go over exactly how the signal counter works and show you all the potential settings. There's definitely some important information that you need to be aware of if you are interested in using this signal counter indicator. The basic functionality of this indicator is that it is counting NinjaTrader drawing objects from signals that are already appearing on the chart. It is counting them and it is printing a number when there are a certain number of signals on the chart, and it will also print an arrow. And these parameters are completely customizable. I've got my chart set to a 3, so anytime I get 3 or more signals on my chart, I will get a number printed and also an arrow. So the signal counter is only printing these numbers and these arrows, nothing else. No chart backgrounds, no candle colors, doesn't print any signals of its own besides the number and the arrow. It's just counting signals that already exist on the chart. This is the first hour of the New York Open session from Friday on a 1-minute chart. See, we've got some great signals happening today. If you want to see some examples of how I trade the signal counter in the live markets, please check out some of the many videos on my YouTube channel where I demonstrate exactly how I trade this in the live markets. When you first load up the signal counter indicator, you will not see any signals. The signal counter does not print historical signals. It only prints signals in real time. So if you need to do some back testing, you'll have to load up some market replay. And then once you hit play on the chart, it will start populating the chart with the signal counter signals. So let's have a look under the hood at the signal counter indicator. First off, the signal counter is counting signals that are already appearing on your chart from other indicators. The signal counter does not actually provide its own indicators. You need to have some other indicators on the chart that are already printing signals. And then the MMT signal counter will count these signals and it will print a number. It will also print an arrow if it exceeds a certain threshold of signals. But just to be very clear, this is only counting signals already on the chart, and it is only able to detect standard NinjaTrader drawing objects like arrows and dots and squares and triangles, etc. But if you have an indicator that prints a custom rendered object that is not a standard NinjaTrader drawing object, the signal counter will not recognize that indicator signal. So please be aware of that. All of the MMT indicators print signals that are standard NinjaTrader drawing objects. So it will recognize all of the signals from the MMT line of indicators. On this chart, I have 5 different instances of the MMT trend and reversal indicator. And each one of these is printing a reversal and a divergence signal. For all of the signals on the trend and reversal, I've got the offset very high. So the signals are there, but they're way above or below the price, so you don't see them on the chart. But these are the signals that are there, and the signal counter will be counting these. If you've got your signals with a big offset, what I do is go into my data series. I click center price on scale. Make sure that is clicked on. And then after that, you'll be able to click on the right side column and adjust the size to where you like it, and it will stay. So there are no templates included with the signal counter indicator. It will be up to each individual user to decide which indicators they want to put on their chart and have the signal counter count. I've tried many combinations of using the MMT price action, the MMT XXX, and the MMT trend and reversal, using multiple different signals from all of these different indicators. The ultimate Heiken Ashi and the ultimate delta also print signals that you could use with the signal counter. The possibilities are endless, but there are no standard templates that come with the indicator. I always highly encourage doing your own personal experimentation and backtesting. So the signal counter will print numbers. You can choose the font size, You can turn the numbers on or off. You can choose the colors. There's also a feature that will print arrows. So if you're using an automated trade software like Markers Plus or something like that that recognizes NinjaTrader drawing objects, and you want to get into a trade automatically or semi-automatically using some other third-party software like Markers Plus, you can have the signal counter print these arrows once a certain number of signals appears on any one candle, and you can change this number to whatever you like. So if you only want it to print a signal when there are 4 or more signals, you can put a 4 in the box. So the original version of the signal counter, when it first came out, I had some issues with delay and lag on my charts during high volatility. Just one of the days that I traded with it in the live market, but it was enough to make me completely change the way everything got calculated. So this new version of the signal counter has a special new calculation feature. This will turn the calculations on and off every 2 seconds. You can play around with this number if you like, but this is the setting that I've been using very successfully. I've been trading this for a long time in the live markets every day with absolutely no issues on my 1-minute chart, my 5-minute chart, and also a NINZA chart with a period of 55 and 21. However, if you are using a smaller NINZA chart, please be aware that there could be some potential for longer load times depending on how many days of data you have loaded. If you're using this on any kind of smaller time frame chart, I would definitely recommend only loading 1 or 2 days of data at the most. I would also not recommend running this indicator on any charts in the background. I would only put this on the charts that you are actively using. There's a potential for a delay in loading if the signal counter has to catch up. But yes, for many weeks now, the signal counter has been running absolutely perfectly. No lag, no issues. I've been trading live in the New York Open session in markets with a lot of volatility and having no issues. However, there still is a disclaimer that you must sign before you can purchase, as using this on extremely small time frames could potentially cause some extra loading time. So now that we've gone through all the settings, if I hit play on my playback data, you will see the chart will start populating with the signals from the signal counter. I'm going to also activate the arrows so you can see what that looks like. This will work on each tick, on price change, or on bar close. I use this on each tick. That's the default setting. So anytime you make any changes to the indicators and you refresh the chart, the previous numbers will disappear. This does not paint historical signals. It only paints signals from the time that you turn on the chart. So when there are 3 or more signals, I will get a number printed and also an arrow. There are several videos on my YouTube channel showing lots of different ideas on potential ways to use this signal counter. I highly recommend checking those videos out. Thanks for watching this introduction video. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Hope you got some good ideas for your own trading. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.